Welcome back to Master Glass. I'm your host, Livio, and today we're going to take a shallow dip into the world of orange liqueurs. I'll explain why shallow in a little bit. But can you imagine a world out there without, I don't know, the margarita, the cosmopolitan, the Mai Tai, the white lady, and God knows how many more amazing cocktails? That would be pretty rough if you ask me. So today we're gonna dig into the world of these orange liqueurs. And by the way, before I get too far into this, my name is Livio, as I mentioned, and I do this channel which is dedicated to spirits and cocktails. And you look like somebody that likes spirits and cocktails, so I think we're a match. So hey, why don't you subscribe to Master Glass and like this video if you end up really enjoying it. The topic of orange liqueurs can be really interesting, and the reason why I want my video to be a little shallow when it comes to the topic is because there's a lot of confusion. And I, if you're familiar with this channel, love to talk about history, love to talk about the genesis of spirits and cocktails. When it comes to these products here, the history is so muddy. Even preparing for this video, I watched a lot of really good content creators. I read a lot of really important websites, and I still left with a lot of confusion. So I'm gonna try to keep the stuff that I don't know out of this video so that we can just talk about what we do know. Obviously, these are all liqueurs, and again, let me explain a little bit what a liqueur is before I get back into the orange part of it. Liqueurs are basically alcoholic beverages that are typically medium to high in alcohol. They have some sort of a flavor. Most of the time they're fruits, but they can be herbs, they can be spices, and they're typically sweetened. They don't qualify as spirits because, well, they're tasty, they have flavors added to them, which spirits typically don't. The orange liqueur category is one of the most popular, if not the most popular category within the liqueur family. Now, there are other liqueurs out there that also have orange or citrus in them. Think of maybe Amari or Campari, but in this case here, we're talking about those that have a dominant orange flavor, where orange is kind of the big deal here. And I'm gonna start by talking a little bit about Triplesec. Now, Triplesec is a clear in color, as you can see from my glass here, orange liqueur. The base of Triplesecs are typically a sugar beet spirit or a neutral grain spirit. They're not aged, and they typically have this nice, rich orange flavor, a little bit snappy, which are great in cocktails, and they give that really cool flavor balance to your citrus without really trying to overtake too much your cocktail. They're kind of like to balance them. Triplesecs can be really high quality, such as the Luxardo brand that I have here, or you can find some cheaper versions at the liquor store. I always say try to stay away from those because they're not gonna get the job done in terms of balancing your cocktail without you having to put too much of them in there. And now your drink is gonna be wonky from an alcoholic standpoint. Not a smart thing to do. Orange Curaçaos, on the other hand, which, by the way, historically, these were so intertwined. There were a lot of brands that actually said Curaçao Triplesec and Triplesec Curaçao. So while we try to tend to believe that these are completely two different animals, still to this day, legally, there's no law that says that Curaçao is only made one way and Triplesec is only made another way. So throw that in the trash. But Curaçaos, on the other hand, they originated on the island of Curacao, right off the coast of Venezuela, and they typically have a brandy as a base, so a darker alcoholic base, and they come through with a little bit more richness. Make sense? I hope I am making sense here. Now, the funny thing is that there are two brands that kind of stepped away from that mother category, and that is Cointreau, which decided that they wanted to be a premium Triplesec, but they removed the word Triplesec from their label because they're just Cointreau, right? And they are, in their minds, right, and we'll all determine that today, at a whole higher level than Triplesec, so they did not want to necessarily associate themselves only with that category. Similar story goes right here for Grand Marnier. Grand Marnier because it's a cognac based, it is made in the Curacao style. And Grand Marnier as well removed the word Curacao from its label and is just good old Grand Marnier. By the way, if you want to learn more about Grand Marnier, I have a full video that I have where I've covered all the marks of Grand Marnier, which is really cool. You should definitely check it out if you want to learn more about it. And in the same thing with triple secs, where there are some really premium and delicious brands of triple secs, there are also some really delicious premium brands of Curacao. Now, here's where it might get a little bit more confusing. So Grand Marnier also makes, this is their red label, Cordon Rouge. They also make a version that is the yellow label. And the yellow label is made with a neutral grain. So Grand Marnier also makes something that is similar to Cointreau. And Cointreau makes Cointreau Noir, which is cognac based, which is similar to Grand Marnier. So both the two most popular orange liqueur brands in the world both dabble within each other's territory. But Cointreau is predominantly clear liqueur, and Grand Marnier is typically, as you could see, an amber in color. The base spirit for Cointreau is sugar beet, and whereas the base spirit for Grand Marnier is cognac. But you know what I should do now? Let's get to tasting. So the first liqueur I'm going to try here is LuxardoTriplesec. Now Luxardo is a historical brand now produced in Italy. They're famous for so many of their other liqueurs and their cherries. And you've probably, if you follow my channel, you see that I use their products a lot. This is a brand that I highly, highly, highly respect. I can already see here, this has a lot of weight to it. So this is gonna be a nice, rich mouthfeel type of a triple sec. Already here, I know that they use the tangerines inside of their blend here as well, which gives it a little bit more of a zippy, lemony, tangerine-y aroma to it. And I can already get it from here. Think about this in your margarita. You can already get the aroma from a distance. We really smell more than we taste. Gonna be yummy. Just nice and velvety. I love how the tangerine flavor comes. You get that orange. As the orange is fading away, the alcohol itself is giving you a little bit of that bitter note. So you're getting the bitter orange, but the tangerine is a little more stubborn. It's staying there, so it's adding this third layer, getting a little slight touch of pepperiness. This liqueur here is super clean, and it will make your cocktails really, really clean. I would recommend this obviously to somebody that wants their cocktail to not be big, bold, rich, right? If you don't like a margarita with an aged tequila, that means you probably like your margarita to be nice and fresh. This is an awesome choice for that. So this takes me to the next liqueur that we're gonna talk about. Again, Cointreau. At the beginning when it was labeled, it was actually called Triple Sec Blanco Curacao, which confuses if you're really still trying to figure out the difference between a triple sec and a Curacao. Wipe that out. Just consider this orange liqueur category. Some of them are made brandy based, some of them are made with clear spirits. In this case here, Cointreau is made with a clear spirit. Also here I see a nice little texture and body weight. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a nose. On this one here, I'm getting a lot more of the lemon citrus, and obviously the orange is there, but whereas over here I was getting the tangerine layered on top, and this one here I'm getting more of a bitter lemon aroma layered on top. Very nice, very nice, very, very nice. Cointreau is a little more snappy. The alcohol content of Cointreau is 40%. The alcohol content of Luxardo Triplum is 39, so they're basically rolling around in the same neighborhood from an alcohol content. But this one here, the alcohol component is a little bit more rich versus over here there was the orange component was a little more rich. but this is finishing very dry, right? Some say the word sec meant dry. Let's not even get there. But this does have a little bit of a dry finish. So again, if you're looking for your cocktail, your Cosmo, your margarita, your sidecar, to have a little bit more of a dry component to it, maybe you're drinking it before a meal, and before a meal you don't want to fill your palate with sugar and flavors, bam, Cointreau is the way to go. Now Cointreau Noir, oh, the sound of a good crack. You know, we very rarely get to crack new bottles around here, so we definitely wanted to get this one done live for you here and make sure it had its very special pour. Is an interesting product. Why? Because it's actually made, the alcohol inside of this bottle is Remy Martin cognac. Remy Martin is a key producer of cognac. By the way, I should probably mention right now, nobody's paying me to do this video. I'm just sharing my passion with you. And so the cognac inside of this bottle here is world-class in its own merit, let alone now it has the world-class Cointreau process to flavor the cognac. So obviously now, as you can see, we have a more amber color going on that's coming from the cognac base. Still, I'm loving that these have a lot of body weight as I am kind of wiggling them around. Whew. And here I can tell I'm just getting that fruitiness that you find in cognac. Cognac has that fruity, fragrant floral aroma, but it also kicks up some acidity because typically the grapes that are used to make cognac are really high in acid, which is why cognac stays fresh even if it's been in a barrel for such a long time. Coming through on the nose here. Oh yeah, baby. So incredible. So incredible. Now I'm getting notes of vanilla, baking spices. I'm getting a little cinnamon, a little nutmeg, a little pipe tobacco, all very well thrown in there. So for some people, it might be sacrilegious to mix this product because it really does stand alone very nicely. But in this case here, if you like a sidecar, that means you're already into the brandy cognac world, then wouldn't it be nice to make that orange liqueur component be Cointreau Noir? Because now you're kind of getting apples to apples, right? You like wood inside of your cocktail. The cognac inside of this product is woodsy and has those woodsy, spicy flavors. So why not at all? The next product here that I'm going to taste here is Pure Ferrand or Ferrand Dry Curacao. Also here, we have a similar story as Cointreau. This product here has a really cool pedigree because it uses Ferrand cognac as a base. It was designed with cocktail historian David Wondrich, who basically did some research and researched a 19th century recipe. This comes with a lot of coolness. The color here is a little bit lighter in color than what I encountered with the Cointreau. Let's go ahead and see. There's a nice component of a little candied orange in addition to that layer of the bittersweet orange that I'm getting. Almost a little marmalade-y, but just a nice hint to it on the nose. Oh yeah. A lot of flavor here, a lot of flavor. It's called Dry Curacao. It's not sweet, but it's flavorful. There's just a burst of orange, vanilla, spices, pipe tobacco, a touch of almondy, pasty flavor to it. What a great option. And let me sidebar for a quick second and say all of these are interchangeable. They give you a different flavor profile to your cocktail, but if you're replacing this with this or this with that, pardon me. Okay. But if you're replacing this with this or this with that, you're still going to get a good cocktail. It just might be slightly different. So when I make a suggestion here, feel free to interchange. But this, with its very funky, cool, nice, spicy characteristics, I feel I would really love in a Polynesian style cocktail, something like a Mai Tai or one of those where there's a lot of rum involved, a lot of citrus, where this can come through. Because the cool thing about those cocktails, Polynesian, the tiki movement, is that they're flavorful. They're yummy, yummy, tasty, flavorful cocktails. And this bad boy right here will do a really good job standing up and kind of helping those flavors come out together. Last but not least, I have Grand Marnier Cordon Rouge. This is the flagship of the Grand Marnier lineup. Very, very nice and rich and on the texture, I can see. Again, we have that amber color, a little bit darker than what we saw in the Ferrand Curacao. Very perfumey, very, very perfumey on the nose. And by perfumey, I mean, yes, there's orange, but there's the very delicate oil essences of the orange peel, more so than the orange flavor. Very, very nice. A slight nuttiness. I'm not getting much cognac yet. I'm getting it, but it's not powerful. I know it's in there, but it's not contributing big time, and it doesn't need to at this point of the game. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm really happy that I tasted this one for last. Not because of the flavor. The flavor is bursting all together in all of them. But Grand Marnier just has a rich mouthfeel that is really coating my palate. And while these guys here have a rich mouthfeel in their own right, Grand Marnier is a little more, so I would have hated to drink it and then have to try to taste something with a little less mouthfeel to it here. In the case of Grand Marnier, and as I mentioned earlier, you can mix these in your favorite cocktail no matter what. But in the case of Grand Marnier, what I really like is I can use Grand Marnier as a floater with a light spirit, with a clear spirit. So I can make something like a Cadillac margarita where I'm using a silver or a Blanco tequila, and I'm using a premium triple sec or Cointreau of sorts. And then I can add a little Grand Marnier in it to give it an extra zip. Or I can also go with directly with a brown spirit and the Grand Marnier. So I feel like this one here, because of its rich mouthfeel, not only does it work well as a modifier, but it works well just as a little floater on top. I think I have said all I would like to say to not confuse the living hell out of you. As I mentioned, if you would like to know more about Grand Marnier, I do have a video specifically about all the marks of Grand Marnier. If you did like this video, give me a like and subscribe to the channel, and come back to Master Your Glass with me, Livio Lauro, where you get expert instruction for everyday consumption.